Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chris Jones. I'm a youth band leader on the project The Junction at Base Studios, and today I'm going to be discussing with you the importance and the value of learning covers to develop a band. Now I'm going to be discussing this from 2 points of view. First of all, my own personal point of view from where I've learnt covers and how covers have helped develop me as a musician, and secondly, how covers have helped develop musicians I've worked with and participants that I've worked with on projects such as The Junction. So first of all, my experience with covers. What experience have I got with covers? Well, my band Time of the Mouth play a lot of covers gigs at pubs, clubs, stuff like that to earn money. We've learnt this cover set over probably 2 or 3 years of hard work, just gradually learning songs. Now this has helped us in a number of different ways. You'd think that, yep, just financially, being paid to play, absolutely it has. But also, as musicians, because we write our own songs, it's helped us to be able to work together in a way that just writing our own material wouldn't have been able to do. Now let me take you back to when I was 12 years old. I got my first guitar, I was really into rock music. The first thing I wanted to do was learn to play a song. Learn to play and sing a song, that's all I wanted to do. So the first song I ever learned was by Green Day, it's called Time of Your Life, still a great song. Now that song was very simple, 4 chords, verse, chorus, end, very simple, very easy to learn. But this helped me to write my first song. So I'd learnt this song, I'd played it a couple of times at open mic nights and stuff like that, along with a couple of other covers that I'd learned. And then I sat down and I wanted to write my own song. Now what I did was copy the structure of the first cover I'd learned, which was Time of Your Life, and my first song was called No Aspirations. Again, very simple, 4 chords, verse, chorus, end, just copying that pattern, that structure that I'd learned from learning that cover song. So as an acoustic artist, covers helped me massively in learning my craft and learning how to develop songs. Now from a band's point of view, when I first got together with my band Time of the Mouth years and years ago, the first thing we did was sit down in a practice room and discuss what cover we wanted to learn first, what song we wanted to learn, what we were all into. It just so happened that we were all into pop punk at the time, so we learnt Damn It by Blink-182, which is again a simple song, 4 chords, quite a simple structure, quite a simple vocal melody too, from what I remember. Now when we first learnt this cover, we learnt that and we learnt a couple of other songs as well, and we went out and started to play open mic nights. Now what this did was help us develop as a group on stage, and because we were able to get up and play songs that weren't necessarily our own, they were mostly covers for the first few months, it meant we could get used to being with each other on stage, playing together on stage, playing together in a practice room, and get a feel for how each other reacts, because again, a musician will play differently in the practice room to what they do on stage, and it's learning how to react together and grow together as a group. Now, exactly the same has happened with my acoustic material. This helped us write our first few songs, which were, well, the first song we wrote was called Take Me With You, and it followed the same sort of structure as a couple of the covers we'd learned, and that was the same way of developing these songs that I took acoustically and we took from the band as well. So, personally, as a musician, covers have helped me immensely. They've helped me develop as a singer and a songwriter. They've helped me develop in terms of my songwriting abilities, lyric writing abilities, all sorts of other things like that. And most importantly of all, they helped me to get up on stage for the first time and take those first steps into playing live and performing. Now that brings me neatly on to my second point of view for covers. So, as a youth band leader, I've seen a few different bands, a few different groups develop together from very first getting into the practice room and the very first time they've ever met each other in some cases, to having a full set finished, ready to play, including 1 or 2 originals. Now I'm going to use the example of my current group on the Junction project, which are called Let's Kill Tonight. We got in the practice room, and again the process sort of followed on what music we were all into, what they wanted to play, what they wanted to cover. They came up with the cover of A Part of Me by Neck Deep. Now that song is a fully acoustic song originally, 2 vocals and an acoustic guitar. We changed it, we put drums on there, bass on there, electric rock guitars, and rocked the track up a bit. Now this sort of worked a little bit differently to how I first started playing covers when I first learnt to play. Because when I first played my very first cover, I learnt it pretty much note for note as the original would have been, but doing it this way, where we learned the song completely differently and shook it up and made it a new style, helped us show each other creatively what we could do. So for example, there were new guitar lines needed writing. The guys that were playing guitar wrote those new guitar lines and it sounded great. The bass player needed to write bass lines. It sounded great. The drummer, which I was the drummer at the time, needed to play the drums, and they sounded alright, I suppose. The only thing that really remained the same was the vocal melody. Now the way the vocals were sung, again, were different. Now I watched them go from their first couple of practices playing this song, and I'm going to compare that to the way they played the song at the final performance at the end of 12 weeks of playing together. Now when they first played the song, because they were very sort of rigid almost, they were playing the song but they were making sure they were getting their parts right first and foremost, rather than relaxing and playing and sort of enjoying the moment, which is quite right, because if you're playing something that you've only played, if you're only playing something for the first time, then you are going to be a little bit more rigid, just because you're concentrating on what you're doing and concentrating on what others are doing around you. Now go from that state of mind to the state of mind that they were at in the final show, where they were very relaxed, they were performing to the best of their abilities, they were sort of chatting to each other and laughing with each other on stage. Now this shows a massive amount of development within that period, that 12-week period. It's gone from focusing on what they're doing and focusing on each other and making sure that there's no mistakes, to being so relaxed and comfortable with each other that they can just have a laugh, jump around on stage and really perform, which they did in the final show. So, in summary, learning covers is an excellent way to develop a band, whether that be old musicians, young musicians, beginners to advanced. Learning covers is an excellent way to bond as a group and also develop your skills personally as a musician. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I've been Chris Jones. Bye bye.